Will Pomni be abstracted in the second episode? Some fans have been saying that Pomni is going to abstract because of the shot we got in the episode 2 trailer that shows Pomni being sent to the basement without even going to heal. The first detail we don't know is how much time passed between episodes. It is possible that we will witness the second day of Pomni in the circus, but in any case, Pomni will still be the newest character in the circus. In the trailer, we see a scene where Pomni is in a room that we also saw in the previous season 1 trailer, but now we get to see her in full. But everything is changed. How her room has become even more messy. Toys are scattered around, and it seems that she was looking at them, or she had a mental breakdown. If you remember the image where Pomni was lying on the grass, and I think that it was Caine who teleported her with the other characters there, because you can even see that she is lying with her head in the grass. When she is in the room, she landed in the same way, and it could be the same place with such grass, and it is not the same completed stadium that we saw earlier in the trailer. But maybe it can be the grass that grows in the circus, because if you look at the image with the wheel and the time of publication of these images on the official page, you can think that the image is connected, and it is possible grass near the watch wheel. But let's get back to Candy Canyon Kingdom. And the biggest question, why do Glitch and Gooseworks want to abstract Pomni? It doesn't make sense for them to kill off their main character this early in the series. Well, let's go through everything we know about Pomni from the trailer and teasers and come to a conclusion. Pomni looks very worried when they meet the princess. She's just in the background, not happy about what's happening to her now. Although she is used to Caine teleports, although she once felt sick from it, in the trailer we can see how Pomni reacts to everything new. Maybe she even thought about staying in the circus if she had a choice. Because as you know, Zooble, just after the first adventures, made a picture for herself of what can await her in Candy Canyon Kingdom. Pomni didn't have that much information yet, and she was new to the circus, so she wouldn't take part in it. And the image that Gooseworks showed us earlier, where Pomni's eyes look tired like herself, and this moment can be seen in the trailer before meeting the princess. And you can tell by her face that they have already been through something. But this is only the beginning, because inside, as we know from the image, Pomni was already enough. But if you look at other scenes where the other circus members are together, like the one where the chocolate monster tries to eat them alive, but the Pomni is missing. And we said in the previous video that all of our characters are going to mix with the alligators right at this point. Also, during the truck chase, apparently the alligators stole the Pomni to exchange for the key to the city that the princess was handing out. And Pomni was not ready for such sharp moments that happened to her. And it is not surprising that she began to lose her mind little by little. The only scene that makes me and a lot of other people really worry about her is where we see the Pomni falling in the dark that looks identical to the basement from the first episode where Caine sent the Kaufmo. And the circus community believes that she dreamed it, that it really looks believable. Because after such a dream, she jumped out of bed. Why was she emotionally unstable? And why was she stuck in a toy cube? Because as you know, emotions affect the physical body of circus performers. But one of the subscribers said an interesting theory. But how does Pomni know what is happening in the basement? What will surround her in it if she ends up there? Because if she really looked into the basement, which is not possible, then she would see all the abstracted old characters. What could strongly affect the moral psyche? And she would dream about it too. But as we see, there is emptiness around her. Is the basement really that huge? And when a character is completely abstracted, the other characters feel it and wait by the hatch. But the fact that Pomni lowered and no one surrounded her from the abstracted, it is possible that they did not feel her presence, that she did not completely abstract herself, or they just haven't had time to approach her yet. And it is hardly a joke, Caine. Because how is it possible to throw Pomni into the basement with one abstracted hand? And in general, the whole community thought the same as I did, that the characters are abstracted immediately and not gradually. Perhaps all characters are abstracted gradually, as we see from Pomni. And since Caine threw her in the basement, several options are possible. The first hand can become abstract very quickly. The second is possible, they can't fix her arm, but they can at least amputate it. Because when Caine sent Kaufmo to the basement, he was a huge abstract monster horse. But what if that's not true at all? So when Caine begins to see the initial stages of abstraction, he immediately begins to send to the basement. If there is no such rule that completely abstracted people are sent to the basement, then an interesting question arises from this, whether the old characters were also completely abstracted, because as we can see, they could have been abandoned when everything was just starting for them. Why did they have to see all the horror that is happening in the basement? And the monsters that surround them? What they do not have to choose, because they have already forgotten about them. And so they go through the process of abstracting without the other characters seeing it, and Caine hopes they don't see that horror and start abstracting as well. This is a way to stop the virus before it spreads. And instead of amputating Pomni's hand, Caine took Pomni from the circus members. He thought it was easier, or maybe he doesn't even know how to fix it. But I guess she won't abstract in the next episode because we know Pomni is the main character of the amazing digital circus. But that doesn't mean we won't see her suffering and she can really abstract, and the plot will go completely another line, because it is impossible not to show us the basement, in which many secrets are hidden. But if we really assume that Kaufmo's abstraction greatly surprised Pomni and planted a seed of doubt in her that she too could abstract. But if you think back to the soundtrack that was leaked recently, we heard some very ominous and creepy music, and that music might be playing as Pomni descends into the basement, and we don't want that to happen to her. And as you remember, yesterday, April 25th, the release of the second episode took place in Japan, and there are no leaks about the second episode on the internet. So next Friday, you and I will see the long-awaited new episode. But give me your theory in the comments. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Before meeting.